Michigan Out of Doors Magazine's OD is brought to you by Country Smokehouse of Almont, offering the best quality and satisfaction in homemade meats, sausage, and jerky. It's a Michigan destination. Check out the website at countrysmokehouseinc.com. And by Williams Gun Sight, located in Davison. Williams Gun Sight has Mid-Michigan's largest selection of used guns with over 2,000 in stock every day. Check out the website to view inventory and prices. And by the 66th Annual Ultimate Sports Show in Grand Rapids. Book the trip of a lifetime at the Outfitters Expo, shop for a new boat, or watch seminars at the Indoor Lake Ultimate, March 17th through 20th at the DeVos Place.
All right, this one here actually is a smoothbore slug gun. It had no rifling in the end of it. So what we did, threaded it for choke tubes. That way it makes with the sights that are already on it, then that makes an excellent turkey gun. Now, we have two different style chokes we tried with this. One is the turkey choke here, which is the extended turkey choke, and then this is just an extra full choke. Now, some of the things we did to this is, number one, we put our fiber optic sights on it. All right. Now, one of the nice things about these sights is they're completely adjustable for windage and elevation, and changing from one type of ammunition to another or changing your choke will definitely change the point of impact. So that's what's nice about having adjustable sights. One of the other things we did to it is we did a camo job on this. This was just a standard shotgun before that. But as far as the pattern goes, I can make any kind of a pattern with the colors that a person wants on it. If a person likes more brown in it, you know, that's not a problem. One of the other things we did with this that's very important is the recoil pad. This recoil pad here is a Pachmayr decelerator pad. All right, they're very cushiony. You can see this is a standard recoil, if you wouldn't even want to call it a recoil pad, but a standard pad on one of these guns, and it is like a rock. The other thing that helps with it is getting a trigger job. I did trigger jobs on all three of these shotguns we're going to look at here today, and they went from like 6.5 pounds down to about 3 pounds. Now with a shotgun, it's not like a bolt action rifle. You can get them, you know, anywhere from like 2 3/4 up to about 3.5 pounds, but the main thing is getting rid of that creep in there. When you're pulling that trigger and it's going, you know, you're going to have anticipation it's going to pull it off target. So a trigger job is a real good idea to get, you know, accuracy. Well, another thing about having the smoothbore slug gun threaded is that after turkey season, you can thread in a rifled choke, then you can shoot saboted slugs out of that. So it works really well twofold there by having it threaded for chokes. Okay, this one here is actually a field gun, and it's a 20 gauge. This has a vented rib on it. So what we did on this one here, we actually make what we call slugger sights. They come in different widths for different size ribs, and they can clamp right on here. They're not magnetized, they're actually screwed and clamped tight. They're also the fiber optic, and they're fully adjustable for windage and elevation, so you've got the best of both worlds there. Obviously this was already threaded for chokes, being it was a field gun, so all we had to do was change out a couple chokes for the turkey. We got a turkey choke in there, and then I also shot it with a modified, just to you know, show the difference in the patterning on it. This one here, we did the same thing. We did a camo pattern on the whole gun, also a trigger job, and the recoil pad. So those are the main things that we did on this compared to the other one. All right, this gun here is it's a stock 3.5 inch 12 gauge. What we did to it was trigger job, course, because this has even more recoil, obviously, than the 3-inch 12 gauge. The trigger job, and we drilled and tapped the top of this so that we could put a holographic sight on this. Now, there are quite a few holographic sights out there, and they're obviously more expensive than having just fiber optic sights, but they are really nice. You can shoot with both your eyes open. The other thing is, it doesn't have to be that, as long as that dot in there is on the target, it doesn't have to be in the center of the holograph, as long as that dot is on the target. So your head doesn't have to be, you know, finding the spot all the time. As long as it's on the target and you've got it zeroed in, that's where your shot's going to go. We did a couple different patternings with this, with an extra full and with the turkey choke. Now we're going to talk about patterning your shotgun. There's 3 major things you have to take in consideration. 1 is the type of choke. Number 2 is the brand of ammo. And number 3 is the shot size. Not all guns are created equal. I mean, you can have one come off the assembly line right behind your buddy's gun. Yours will shoot one type of ammunition much better than the other in his gun. So what you have to do to get it right is go ahead and get several different types of ammunition and try each one to see which one works best in your gun. Now what we've got here, this is with 3-inch 12 gauge. Okay, this is with the extra full choke. Now this is with number 6 shot, and this is with number 5 shot. Now the number 6 obviously has more pellets, but in this particular case, in this particular gun with that choke, the number 5s actually made a much better dense pattern where you want it to go. So that's what I was saying about you have to try several different loads to see which one your gun is going to shoot the best with. Here we changed the choke. This is the original choke with the extra full. You can see the pattern. It's not as dense, but it's centered. Now all we did in this was just change the choke to the turkey choke. The pattern, as you can see, has moved up higher here. It's much denser, but it has moved. That's why an adjustable sight is very important. So it's very important, if you do change either one of those, that you repattern again. Don't just buy Federal ammo, sight your gun in with it, and then go out with Remington and expect it to hit in the same place. Okay, we're still with the 12 gauge 3-inch. And what we did here, the difference in pattern size with the chokes. This is with the turkey choke, and you can see that the pattern is quite dense there. Now, this is with the extra full. You still got a lot of good hits in here, but the turkey choke has a much denser pattern, and it's quite a bit tighter. On this Federal ammunition, with the number 5 shot, the point of impact did not change when we changed chokes. On the Remington ammo, it did change. So you never know from one type of ammo to another what's going to happen unless you get out there and try it. Okay, here we're at with the 20 gauge. We're going to use the turkey choke and the modified choke to show you the difference in the patterns with these 2 chokes. Okay. A 20 gauge, this is a 20 gauge with obviously a lot less pellets in it than a 12 gauge would have. But as you can see with the turkey choke, this is at the same distance we shot the 12 gauge at. You've got a lot of really good hits in this. You've got a really nice tight pattern. So it's not really necessary. I mean, especially if you have a little bit of recoil sensitivity or something like that, you can, or a younger hunter, a 20 gauge will do the job, providing you use the right type of ammo that your gun likes and also the right type of choke. Now this one here was shot with just a modified choke. The pattern isn't near as dense. I'm going to turn them over and you'll be able to see a little better how more spread out it is compared to this one. Well, in this particular case, the choke made quite a difference on it. Now we're going to move on to this is a 12 gauge, but it's a 3.5 inch. Okay. What I did here This is with Winchester ammunition with 2 different chokes. This particular pattern here is with the turkey choke, and this pattern up here is with the rifle choke. Now the rifle choke gave it a little bit denser pattern than the turkey choke did. They hit in just about the same spots as far as point of impact. Now the rifle choke is supposed to stabilize the cup when it comes out. That way the shot stays on target better. That's the idea behind a rifled turkey choke. Okay, we did this patterning here with number 4 shot. This is with the turkey choke. Fairly decent pattern on target. Now when we went to the rifled turkey choke, the pattern became denser, but again, it was moved up. So this is where adjustable sights really come in. When looking for a turkey gun, bigger isn't always better. This is a real good example right here. Both of these were shot with turkey chokes. This is a 3.5 inch, this is a 3 inch. Now the 3.5 inch would have more pellets per shot, but if you look at the size of the group of the pattern here, it's kind of spread out. The 3 inch, on the other hand, with less pellets, has a much tighter group with the same type of choke. So even if you have a 3 inch or a 3.5 inch, try some 3 inch out of it. They may pattern better. If you're getting a good pattern with your 3.5 inch, fine. If you're not, it's very possible that 3 inchers may do you better. What we've learned today is that you really need to get out and pattern your gun before you go hunting. Come up with the best load, the best choke, so that your shot is the best ethical shot you can make in the woods.